Welcome back. This week we are going to be studying invertebrates as part of our STEM learning for this time. Invertebrates, this story is going to be another nonfiction story, just like the last two that we have read. We have our title page and a table of contents. It's going to list each chapter, what page we can find that chapter on. It also has that glossary too on page 23. And if you remember, the glossary is a little mini dictionary, and it gives you the definitions of the words that you'll find that are in bold print throughout our story. So we are going to get started on page 4. Make sure you have your book with you and a pencil and a piece of paper. Introduction. Invertebrates are spineless animals. That means they have no backbone. Feel the bumps in the middle of your back. The bones of your backbone, or spine, are called vertebrae. Animals with a spine are called vertebrates. You are a vertebrate, but most animals are invertebrates, and it shows a giraffe that we know has bones. They are vertebrates, but this fly is an invertebrate. What do invertebrates have in common? Invertebrates have many things in common. You already know they have no spine, but they have other things in common too. Like all animals, invertebrates have more than one cell. All invertebrates move their body in some way. Invertebrates need oxygen, but they do not breathe as we do. And this invertebrate flies, this one swims, and this one right down here crawls. And it says these invertebrates have different ways of moving. Most invertebrates have symmetry. That means the sides of their body look alike. Invertebrates can't make their own heat. They are cold-blooded. Most invertebrates make young with sperm from males and eggs from females. Invertebrates eat to stay alive. In this book, you will learn about some groups of invertebrates. You will find out how they move and eat. And this up here says bilateral symmetry and radial symmetry. Our next chapter is going to be classifying invertebrates. Invertebrates have things in common, but they are very different too. A fruit fly is smaller than a grain of rice. A giant squid can be as long as a bus. Centipedes eat worms. Butterflies drink from flowers. Bees fly and crabs crawl. Earth has many, many kinds of invertebrates. And over here, this diagram says giant squids have eyes bigger than basketballs. Invertebrates can be very different from each other. So here's that centipede, here's the crab, and then there's a bumblebee. Scientists classify or group animals by the things they have in common. Animals are either vertebrates or invertebrates. Each kind is made up of smaller groups. Read on to learn about some groups of invertebrates. So vertebrates are mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and fish. And those, all of those categories all have bones. Okay. But invertebrates, and I will admit I had to look up how to pronounce one of these. The porphyrians are sponges. The cnidarians are sea jellies, corals, and sea anemones. Sorry. The echinoderms are sea stars, sea urchins, sand dollars. Mollusks are octopus, squids, snails, and clams. The annelids are the earthworms, and the arthropods are insects, spiders, lobsters, and millipedes. And this one right down here is the one that I had heard of most. I had to look up to see how this one was even pronounced because you don't hear that letter C that's in the beginning of that word. That is where we are going to stop for today. In your Google Classroom, I would like you to answer this question. I want you to tell me 2 things that invertebrates have in common. So you can go back to the chapter that you will find on your table of contents. 2 things that they have in common. And you'll be able to know exactly what page number to turn to. And I look forward to seeing your answers.